Like, I've been sex trafficked. I've been abused financially, sexually, mentally, emotionally, physically. And I woke up in the morning and he's woken me up. I woke up, punched me in my face.
I know a lot of single mothers who always look for love. They want that one person that can be there for them and support them because it's hard. You know what I mean? Raising
Especially like,
3 kids. Did you have a kid with the right person?
absolutely not.
Let's talk about that. How did y'all meet?
He was 24. I was 17 years old. And even though they're toxic to you and to that
you have
child,
to be careful because not everybody you have to bring around your kids. Personally, I don't think 100% therapy helps you. Yo, what's good, man? This is Easy Pinch Out Podcast with your one and only host, Glory Boy, back here with our next special guest in the building. And like I always say, man, I'm going to continue to work so hard to bring such amazing podcast episodes for you guys. And with this next episode here today that you're going to be watching, you're going to experience a life-changing story. We're going to have a woman that have been dealing with domestic violence. She have went through so much, but she's still standing here. She's a mother of 3 kids. And she have a story to tell because there's a lot of people struggling. And there's a lot of people that are in some messed up relationships, but they don't know how to get out. But she have made a step forward, to just find her true happiness and so much more. And we're going to talk about that. I can't wait for you guys to hear that story. So if you haven't done so, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. And I'm going to allow our guests to introduce themselves. So yeah, how are you today?
I'm good. My name's Amara. I am a survivor. I'm a mom of 3 kids. I'm also a student, and I'm just living my day to day.
Thank you so much, Amara, because, being a mom, single mother,
Yes.
And taking time out of your schedule to be here to share your stories, it's impactful. Like a lot of people are going to be inspired by your story. We sat down and had a little conversation, and I was like, man, are you sure you want to talk about this? And you say, yeah. And it takes a lot of courage. But before we even jump straight into your story, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you was born and...
I'm born and raised in Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
Basically just grew up in the east side of Buffalo most of my life. Most about myself, I've just grew up around the community. I was raised by the community. I was fortunate to have a village growing up. So I truly know what it means to have a village and that type of support and that type of connection with people.
Right.
So I love my people. I love the city of Buffalo. It's a love-hate relationship too.
In the city of Buffalo?
Yeah.
I feel you on that.
Because, all the things I've been through and the people that have hurt me, but that's everywhere you go. You'll find good and bad people. But I've had to overcome a lot. But it's been an interesting journey, growing up in Buffalo.
Right.
I was raised definitely around the African cultural community in Buffalo. My father is a photographer, so a lot of the times, I'm with him when he's going to different events, and my mom's a dancer, she's a teacher, so I traveled with them, around the city and got to experience things that not a lot of people did growing up, especially when it comes to the artistic life. I've surrounded by artists my whole life, so it kind of embedded in me.
Right.
But
man, that's because you have a lot to say too. As we were having a conversation earlier, we talked about your childhood experiences. Take us back to some of your most memorable experiences as a child, and how were they for you?
Most memorable would have to be through dancing. Just being a part of a dance community. It was like a family outside of a family, a home outside of a home. There's ups and downs everywhere, so there's drama, and things like that. But I got to meet people. I got to understand at a young age what it was like to dedicate and to have that commitment towards something and to work hard towards a goal and to work towards something. So it was definitely interesting growing up. But I remember especially I used to dance with the Matthew Clark company. So like we would do competitions and things of
Right.
that nature. And I did all types of dance. He told us, if you want to do tap or you want to do hip hop, like you need to start at the basic, which is ballet, and that's for everyone. That's the basic of all dance is ballet. So having to work on a basic to even be able to perfect different avenues of dance was really fun. I got to travel, and the competitive nature of dance is also really interesting because it's like a camaraderie, but you're also competitive. But it was really fun.
Yeah. And also your parents, what or how they're, I mean, your experience with your parents, because a lot of people, when they grow up with their parents, they have different experiences. Like me, for example, I grew up with two parents, and I can say my father was always the one to just leave and go out the house for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, just so he can work and provide for the family. My mother was more of like the nurturer, the one that stayed home, and my father, whenever he gets the money, he will hand it to her, and then she will have to do work with that money so we can eat. What was your experience like with your
So I,
parents?
I also grew up in a two-parent household. My father, he was more of like a entrepreneur. So he would go and sometimes he would do things that he would get paid for. Sometimes he wouldn't. But my mom was the sole provider, and she also was the nurturer. So she was the one working and also taking care of the kids, and she has to step up in that way. She met my dad when she was in her early 20s and he was in his 40s. So definitely a different age, different mindset, difference in goals, especially when it came to starting a family. But truly, what I remember growing up was being surrounded by love. Like even though my mom and dad didn't probably see eye to eye in certain things, especially when it came to parenting or holding down a family, like my mother, and my father, they both made sure we were surrounded by love the entire time. So most of my childhood, I embraced that. Sometimes people want to say like me and my siblings are spoiled, but like we aren't spoiled rotten. We were spoiled with love and care, and that's what I remember mostly about my household growing up.
What is love to you?
Love to me is an action. Love, love is definitely a complicated topic, and love is a complicated feeling. I feel like love, I feel like all people have love in them. To me, love is like, you can't really put it into words, but
Have you experienced love in a deeper way, in a deeper?
I experience different kinds of love, platonic love, romantic love, a love for my business or for a career or something like that. But for me with love, it's been kind of tricky because, with the things that I've been through, I've been manipulated with love, with the word love, and it's been really hard to kind of differentiate between who really loves you and who really doesn't, or, something I've been working on personally. It's hard to try to understand love. It's such a hard concept.
Yeah. And when did you find, like, I mean, when did you kind of like come to a mindset where you felt like, okay, I'm being manipulated with love?
Early on, I would say with friendships, I feel like I first learned I was being manipulated with love because I would overextend myself in friendships, and it was definitely not reciprocated at all. Like I'd fight for a friend. Like I'm boxing. I'd fight somebody for my friends. But
Right.
if it came to me, they're not doing that. Like,
And that really,
it was kind of weird. Like honestly, I did not understand what love was until I gave birth to my first child, and I got to hold him, and I got to like feel the his heart and like see that I created a human being. Like I didn't
Right.
truly understand love until I had my child. And because of the things that I went through when I was younger, I was searching for love in all the wrong places. Like I became a mom at 17. I got pregnant at 17, but became a mom at 18. But I was at such a low point in my life. It was almost like I felt like if I needed that love that I was looking for, I had to have a kid because kids are gonna love you unconditionally, right? So like it came to that point where it was like I just wanted to have a kid with anybody. Like I was just looking to have a baby eagerly when I was younger. It was kind of, destructive, and it obviously was destructive because of what I introduced myself to.
Yeah.
But I did recognize that love at first when I became a mom, and then I recognized another type of love when I became closer to God. So it's
Did you have a kid with the right person?
absolutely not.
Let's talk about that. How did y'all meet?
He was 24. I was 17 years old. I met him through a mutual friend. Long story short, they both knew each other mutually because they were sitting in prison together. And from 17 to 28 to 24, he was released. And we just happened to meet each other to get more vulgar. Both men were involved with prostituting girls and sex trafficking girls and abusing women and with drugs and things like that. And the mutual friend who I met him from basically introduced each other through met him on a train ride, exchanged numbers, went to his house the next day, and he never let me home. So I was there for about 3 to 4 days. Around Christmas Eve was when I was introduced to my children's father. And it was really a tumultuous situation. So he came into the room, basically was like, hey, take your shirt off. So I took my shirt off, just kind of looked at each other, ended up making our way towards a motel out in the suburbs. And we end up in a motel room. I'm taking a shower. They both walk in the bathroom. They're watching me shower. And I sit down. I'm about to put a shirt on. They're like, no, leave your shirt off. So I basically have basketball shorts on and no shirt. I'm just sitting there. They listen to music and things like that. I didn't know that they were both on drugs at the time. The mutual friend was on cocaine and, probably drunk or whatever he was on. Out of nowhere, the guy smacks me. I'm just kind of confused.
So you got smacked in the face?
Yeah. So he just smacks me out of nowhere. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what's really going on. And comes back, smacks me again. And so my children's father, he's like, you're going to let him do that to you? And I fight. I'm tough. So I fought before. I have older siblings and things like that. I fought men. So I got up and I'm boxing the dude. I got my advantage over him. So I'm on top and I'm starting to punch him. I put both my hands down and I go and bite him on his face. And that's where I lose control. And he basically gets up, throws me down, starts just walling on me, punching me. My face is jacked up, and my children's father's basically just standing there watching the whole time, like, all right, chill, you don't have to keep hitting her. So they both wound up laying down in their separate beds, and I was told to lay down on the floor by the window in the motel. And I didn't sleep. I just basically sat there and prayed. Waited till I could see there was light outside. I got up, showered, sat on the mutual friend's bed. My children's father woke up, and I don't know, but a lot of these situations made me believe in God. Because something told me, to make it known or make it seem like I was going to live again. I was going to keep living on to the next day. Because, I'm in an area where nobody knows me. I'm in the middle of the suburbs. I could be left out there, and who knows?
Yeah, there's people that have been found in hotels and motels, garbage cans or bathroom stalls.
I have family members where their bodies were found in garbages, or tongue ripped out, and it's
so in that moment, since you mentioned you have family members that have experienced that, was that going through your mind that you was going to be the next victim?
Yeah, basically. So I basically was like, because at this time it was Christmas Day.
Right.
So I said, like, what do guys like for Christmas? I have younger brothers.
So that was a way to kind of like make
it seem
think.
like I was gonna keep on going. Like I'll see you again. No hard feelings. Like I'm not gonna go to the police. I'm not gonna do that. But like, hey, like, so what do guys like for Christmas? So I want to get something for my brothers. And he's like, oh, I don't know, video games, things like that. The guy wakes up. He takes me like outside in like an alleyway by the motel, and he's like basically like trying to say like, oh, you were supposed to come into bed with me after that, and like he had gave me some money the day before, and I didn't spend it on anything.
How much money was it?
It was probably like $200 to $300 in cash, and like he handed it to me. Like took me to a store to go shopping. Nothing there that I wanted. It was like in the Bailey area, so I like was like, I don't really want anything. So he's like, how much you have left on you? I just showed him, snatched it from me. He was like, well, you're not even worth that. So, and then he was like, you're going to stick by me for the rest of the day. So we started walking towards like a gas station, I guess, to wait for a bus, back to Buffalo. And my children's father is like in his phone the whole time. We sit down, mutual friend goes to the bathroom, he passes me his phone. It's like a long paragraph. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry that I didn't do anything. I'm sorry that happened. That was wrong. I'm going to do my best to get you away from him.
So he didn't tell you that, he typed it?
No, he was just basically like walking behind us, typing it down, trying to be secretive, like trying to like not make it known to his friend that he was trying to help me get away from his friend. So we ended up like going to my children's father's family's houses, like stopping at each house, like his mom's house, his cousin's house. It was weird. Got to know the whole family.
The same day.
That same day. And his family, he's kind of like telling his family, like, hey, this is this and this and this is going on. She needs to get away. So they were up to date with what was going on. So him and his family, they basically saved me and got me away from that guy. But in the same instance, I truly believe in the same birds flock together for a reason. Because if you hang around people who do bad things, I guarantee they're doing the same thing. But, he basically was trying to rap at me, say that he liked me, things of that nature. Told me he had a kid on the way, had also a girlfriend. So a kid on the way with another woman, also had a girlfriend with another woman that he was trying to leave.
And he was trying to get with you?
Get with me, yeah.
I mean, that's a red flag already.
Yeah, it was.
What was going through your mind? Like, did you...
I was 17, and I feel like I was going through Stockholm. Like, he was my savior and also my captor in a way. So I felt like indebted.
Did you have your father around?
I had my stepfather around, but
he wasn't like...
It was a weird situation because I was being abused by my stepfather. And a lot of times I was not trying to be at home. I tried to live with my cousin even to get away from that. And it was just a lot going on at home. And my children's father also used that to an advantage, especially knowing that I was being abused. So we basically went out to Niagara Falls to like a family member's house of his, stayed out there for like a week until New Year's. So this is going from Christmas towards New Year's. I'm still with him, right? And he winds up like telling me he loves me and things of that nature, and that he wants to start a family. He wants more kids. Like he basically telling me about what happened with his baby mother, with his girlfriend. How he did, wants something real, things of that nature. And I'm 17, so I'm like, okay, sure.
And you wanted to have a kid too.
I
wanted to have your own
super
family.
Eager for a child because I was so eager for love. I just wanted love. So all that sounded great to me. So I was like, sure, let's do it. I wound up pregnant in February, the month after his son was born in January. And it was a lot because I was 17. I was young and dumb. So I realized that he wasn't going to leave his girlfriend anytime soon. So I was just pregnant with a baby, and this man was just living in another home with a woman, waking up damn near getting some pussy every day and calling me with his baby in my stomach. So I left for like a month. And then I came back to him. And honestly, I didn't know who the baby's father was at the time because, like I said, I was looking for anybody to have a baby. I was so desperate for love and for a child, thinking that that was the closest thing to long-lasting love was just a child. And I didn't disclose that with him because I was
so you had like another.
yeah, I didn't know who the dad was at the time.
Right.
So I never disclosed that with him. And he kept asking me, like, are you sure? Are you sure? I'm like, yeah. I'm childish. I'm 17. Communication like that didn't occur to me. I'm texting my friend about it, though. I'm texting my sister about it, like, well, I don't know, this. I remember we wound up staying at one of his friend's house or something like that. And I woke up in the morning and he's woken me up. I woke up, punched me in my face. Whose baby is that? What? Punch me in my face. Whose baby is that? I'm like, well, it's yours. You sure? Shows me the text messages. He's punching me. He's like dragging me through the floor.
Text messages from who?
Huh? Oh, from me and my like sister.
Oh, so you went through your phone and
yeah,
and all of that.
and found out.
Right.
So he's beating me up. There was like a dog in the apartment who had shit on the floor. Grabbed the dog's shit, rubbed it on my face, my hair, like smacking me, rubbed it on my body. He's like beating on me still. And basically like pulled a knife out on me, like saying like he was gonna kill me and things like that. So I'm like begging him not to, out of this, out of that. And I don't know if it was like a fetish or weird thing, but like after he like took some drugs, calmed down, smoked a cigarette, he calmed down, told me to take a shower, and was like trying to talk me down to like calm me down because obviously I'm bruised up.
Right.
So he took me back to like Niagara Falls. I was there for like a week. I'm like 3 months pregnant. He's broke. So I'm starving. I'm surviving off of Laters. I'm stealing from the store while 3 months pregnant. So when he finally took me back to Buffalo and we parted ways, then and there, I ran to my mom's house and basically like broke down. I tried to eat some food that she had made and I threw it up instantly because I was malnourished. So I had to go to the hospital and make sure I was nourished and hydrated and things of that nature. But from 3 months when I was pregnant with my firstborn until he was 1 year old, I did not have him in my life. But when he was one, I kind of posted on Facebook and he was looking for me. So he was like, I want to meet my son, things of that nature. And I was like, yeah, sure. Because how I was raised, I was raised with a 2-parent household. And I was raised from my father, saying like boys need men in their life. Both my father and my stepfather, were adamant about a male figure being in a male's life. Excuse me. But I kind of had to realize like that he wasn't growing up. He was just remaining the same person, just, a liar, a cheater, an abuser, an addict. So it was like a back and forth situation. But of course, I still had love in my heart and compassion, and the words that were being said were so sweet. They were so sweet. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna marry you.
Right.
And you're the mother of my son. Things of that nature. So it became an on and off situationship. Like I'd be in relationships and he'd come into my life and I'd ruin those relationships,
Right.
because I'd be trying to be with him just to find out he's abusive in those situations. So like I'd be in a relationship, go sleep with him, and then in the next 2 days I'm being abused with my son there, So it was a lot.
Why did you keep going back? Because that's another issue that a lot of women tend to struggle with, is that you realize that that's the man that's abusing you, that mistreating you and all of that. And probably there could be somebody out there that wants to treat you better, but like, what was the one thing that kept taking you back? And why didn't you learn your lesson from the way he was acting, from the get-go?
It's hard to explain because there were so many different factors. Like there's those honeymoon phases with narcissists, where it's like at first it's all lovey, it's romantic, you know, they're kissing on you, they're giving you everything that you want and need and that you've been asking them for. And it's like once those phases stop, then they go back to who they really are. And a lot of women go back and forth because of that playbook that narcissists do to abuse you and to keep you. They'll say what you want to hear. They'll even do what you want to do for a short time period until you allow them to let them in, and then it's back to square one. So like I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth because it was like, hey, I want to marry you. Like let's go to the courthouse and get married in like a week.
Did you
like, yeah.
Did you ever marry him?
No.
Okay.
As I'm saying, like you could say what you want and it'd be like, okay, yeah, like, oh, I'm going to counseling. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And as soon as we get back together, that all stops. You know,
now he got you.
You got me now.
Yeah, now he
You got me, especially with getting me pregnant 3 times. Now you got me. Like,
Right.
I mean, you really don't got me, respectfully, because I'll be by myself. But yeah, like, especially with having children, like I love babies. I love being a mom. I love being pregnant. I haven't really had bad pregnancies, even with my second born, who was born prematurely. I truly believe she was born premature because I was being abused the most in that pregnancy.
And then stress too. Stress really
That's
plays a huge
it was
part.
a lot of stress.
So let's talk about like throughout the moments, like, you know, when you was pregnant, what was going through your mind? Because
hoping that he wouldn't punch my stomach most of the time.
okay.
A lot of the times I'm getting headshots, getting punched in my head, smacked in my head, or body shots, or he's strangling me, or things of that nature.
Why you never ran to police?
I have.
When you was pregnant?
Yeah, I have made a lot of reports. There's a paper trail. And I feel like when women, especially if you're confused and going back and forth, make reports, keep that paper trail because that will save you. I've made reports, but my fault was not following through with like pressing charges, not following through with getting order protection, because I would still be allowing that communication. Like he would stalk me, he would provoke me, like try to find me through email, through Cash App, through like different numbers.
Through Cash App. He would take you through Cash App.
Send me $1 just to say something. Just to say
That is
something.
crazy. So, or maybe send you a request and say, hey, like, that is, I've never heard that. That is some
Psychotic
stuff, you know?
Psychotic.
You know, like even emails. And I've heard guys do go ahead and send women emails to just reach out to them once the women have blocked them everywhere. And it's like, bro, like,
I had
you
changed
don't
my
got nothing else to
number,
do?
changed my email. I had to like redo my whole life, and you still will find a way to like really Google search and find a way to find some information out. Like my mother, she had to move from the east side to more of a suburban area to like get away from that. Like, because every time I left, he would go after my family. He would threaten my siblings, you know, saying he's gonna beat them up or, you know, curse at them or curse at my mother. When I was pregnant with my second born, he came home drunk on whatever drugs he was on, and he asked me to be vulgar, suck his dick. And I was like, no, I don't know where you've been at. What do you mean by that? Da, 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 da. And it started from that to him putting his hands on me. So I did what he wanted me to do, and he fell asleep. So I took that as my way to grab my son and to get out. And his mom's kind of like, go, go, go. So we escape. My mom grabs us, and I head to the hospital. My son heads to my mother's house. She lives on like Locust on the east side in the Fruit Belt. So he's like texting me. He wakes up. He's blowing my phone up, like thinking I'm being weird. Where did I go? Da 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 this, da da da. And he sends someone to throw a brick through my mother's living room. This is where my son plays. My little brother was standing there, and it went like right past him. Like, if that would have hit my son, then what? You know, things of that nature. So
and that's his son.
Yeah.
You know, so like a lot of times some people don't think. That's why they say a lot of the most dangerous men are men who can control their emotions or who do not have self-control. And he seemed to be one of those guys.
Not at all.
And a lot of times women tend to, you know, now enough is enough. I'm gonna go ahead and find somebody who's gonna treat me better. Did you attempt to do that? Did you attempt to find somebody who's gonna treat you better?
I sure
And how was that?
have, but when it comes to people who I've been in relationships with, it's like they'll say anything. They'll tell me they love me. They'll tell me that they love my children, and they don't follow through. Like I've met people who say, I truly believe a guy will say anything to get in your pants. And then once he does, then it's like, okay, I got what I want, deuces. They'll even meet your kids and do all that. And still, as long as I can get in your pants, bye. That's just that. Like, I've had a real struggle and a real distrust with trying to find better.
Right.
Because it's like, why am I so, that's another reason why a lot of women I feel like go back to, because it's like, you're looking for love when you should be trying to give yourself that love you're looking for. Like you're trying to keep searching and searching and searching and searching. First off, the number one love you need is that love from God, because God is your father. He loves you. He loves everyone. But like when it comes to going back to an abusive situation, you don't have any self-love. You're so busy searching for love and those sweet words and those sweet nothings and things of that nature. You're not showing that love to yourself in whatsoever. And like once you realize, like, I've been nurturing, I've been loving, I've been forgiving to other people, but why haven't I been doing that to myself? Then you'll wake up. It's time to go, and it's been a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's a lot of things going on, and I mean, I know a lot of single mothers who always look for love. They want that one person that can be there for them and support them, because it's hard. I mean, raising
Especially like
3 kids.
the reality, yes, like some children need that male figure in their life. I believe that still. Like even with my son, like he has behavioral issues. So like he has had female teachers and he's hitting them and he's like hitting other kids. He's not paying attention to class. And then all of a sudden this year he has a male teacher and he's well behaved. I haven't heard a single thing. It's real silent. Sometimes you kind of need that male figure, but you got to make sure it's the right type of influence that you're putting a child around. You just can't say like, I want a male in my kid's life just to say it. And even though they're toxic to you and to that child.
You have to be careful, because not everybody you have to bring around your kids.
Don't.
Think about it. You had a stepfather. You say he was being abused. I mean, sexually assaulted. Just imagine bringing your kids around, and then you bring somebody like that around that's doing the dumb stuff around your kids. It's sick. So yeah, you're right. You have to be careful. Like not don't just bring anyone. You may want a male figure in the home, but a lot of times what I tell people is like, look into like your brothers or your uncles.
Hey, my brothers have been the best uncles to my babies. They love them dearly. Like they're still young. They're young, so they're learning how to be men still. But like when it comes to that supportive, protectiveness that my children need, they get that from them.
Yeah. Have you learned not to chase love, but allowing love to come to you?
No. To be honest, I still haven't learned that. I'm just recently now learning that, literally, because it's like I don't give a man like a chance to pursue me, because I'm so busy trying to show up and be there. It's like, oh, if you want to hang out, I'm finding the rides, I'm planning the dates, or like I'm finding the way back and forth home and things like that nature. I'm not letting a man be a man and like actually like pursue me and show interest and put in that initiative. So it's like I'm still learning that myself.
Right. Yeah. I mean, man, you have a crazy story, but like, what keeps you going? I know you mentioned God, but what are the things that keeps you, moving forward?
Honestly, like looking at my children, like they're so young and innocent. They didn't ask to be born into this world. They didn't ask for any of that. And looking at them and seeing myself in them every day. And also just wanting to accomplish my personal goals. Like I've been going through this since I was 17. I'm 24 now. I've been dealing with this for 6 years, and I'm still fighting this legally. I'm still fighting for my safety and for my children's safety. So it's like what's kept me going is just wanting that perseverance and that tenacity that I have in myself, and just wanting to live. I want to live. You know, domestic violence is life or death. I've known many people who have died, either the abused or the abuser. You know, it's a life or death situation. And like, I even had to look at myself sometimes, because it was going to get to a point where I had to self-defend. Like, you coming at me, cussing at me, talking about you gonna kill me. Now I'm gonna have to grab a knife and look at you like this. Please come at me, because I'm gonna have to stab you. Because it became really toxic. Like, it's either you dying or I'm dying. Like, who wants to really be in that type of situation? Like, it was just really hard. I didn't want to live in a toxic environment any longer. Like, I wanted peace in my life. Like, I want grace in my life. I want to live my life and be happy. Like, life is so short. Anything could happen. God forbid, I wake up tomorrow and find out I have cancer. You know, like, do I want my life that I live to be a victim, to have been abused? Do I want my children to be left and be with someone who neglects? Or like, do I want my children to be surrounded by love? Like, what's kept me going truly, like, is my own perseverance and my will to live.
Yeah. I mean, you ever feel like giving up on life?
Of course. At
what point, and what kind of like lifted up your spirit?
Recently, I felt like I wasn't going to be able to leave this situation. So I decided to pop a bunch of pills. And I felt myself getting sick, but I was trying to let it do its thing so I could just die. And my son walked up to me, not knowing what's going on, but he just was like, "No, mommy, no, please no." Like, and it hit me, and I just made myself throw up so I can get it out. But it was like, I have to live for them.
What kind of pills, sorry?
There were depression pills, like antidepressants, and I just basically took like 10.
10?
Yeah.
What's the milligram in that?
It's like 15 mils. But, you know, if anything, I was definitely going to get real sick. Probably, you know, not die, but definitely get real sick off of that. But just in that type of feeling in itself, to like, the only way I can escape is damn near death.
Yeah, but don't you think that would be selfish though? Because
it is selfish.
You have kids to take care of.
It is selfish.
Like you said, like, they didn't ask to be born. And you always wanted to have your own kids. Always wanted to feel love from kids and have your own family. So like, that's just like giving up on all those things that you wish for.
Yeah.
I know you have been going through like the worst thing ever, you know, and I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. You know, a lot of women are struggling, and I applaud you for the courage that you have to actually sit down and actually talk about some of the most scariest thing that a lot of women can't say, because then now it's like that abuser will be out there watching the story and be like, damn, like, she's telling people about what I did to her, okay? And then they would try to, you know, they would still try to do some stuff to you.
Yeah, you know, I'm putting myself at risk.
Yeah,
being here, I definitely am. But I've been sex trafficked. I've been abused financially, sexually, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. But you know, I can say, like, the one thing I would be a message to get away is, don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, don't be embarrassed to really ask for help. Like, there are so many services out here, and I know the police are not the best when it comes to domestic violence. They can be very harsh. They can be very abuser friendly. So like, but there are domestic violence advocates and agencies that you can just look up on Google, and they will help you. They will create a safety plan. Like, if you don't have anyone, and thank God I have a mother who stood in my life and was steadfast about staying in my life, because without her, I wouldn't be able to have escaped a lot of times. But, you know, it's definitely just ask for help. it's hard, especially when there's children involved. Ask for help. Like I've had advocates who literally had to come at 5 a.m. to my house to help me and my children escape.
Wow.
Like who actually cared that much and who know that I'm trying my best to get away from this. They stood in front of my house and waited for me to have the moment to leave. Like for that instance, it was so scary because like I was pregnant and I had 2 babies and my kids are loud. So it's like waking them up. He's going to wake up. He's in the house still. There's a dog. He has another kid. And it's like, I have to run like, and I had forgot like my wallet with my personal information. Like also make sure that you have your personal information in a bag at all times, because if you need to leave and escape, don't leave your personal documents for your abuser to just have at free will. Don't do it. Like it's you're creating more problems for yourself.
They can use it. They can use it to their own advantage. I mean, if you leave your social security or anything like that,
don't do it. And change your address as soon as possible. You don't want your mail going to them either, and things of that nature. Like property, like clothes, shoes, your bags, leave it. When it comes to your life, leave all that. Keep your personal documents because also that's your life. You can't really do much without your personal identification. But things like clothes and shoes, you will get that back. I guarantee you. Leave all that behind and get away. Like it's a lot, but it's life or death. And people.
What are like? How does your nights go? Because
I'm
a lot
up
of people
at night all the time.
You don't sleep?
I sleep, but it's like I suffer from definitely insomnia and anxiety. And I do have counseling. So I do have people to talk to about what's going on in my head. But I'm an overactive thinker, so like at night I replay things, or like even throughout the day, like I might just be walking around and I like get a flash memory of an abusive moment. And just kind of like ruins my day for the whole day, and I'm up at night still thinking about it, trying to not think about it. And on top of that, like I'm accomplishing goals, so it's like I'm trying to think of my next step and my next move and what my kids need and what I need, and it's just a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
as a single parent, it's a lot.
I can tell it's a lot.
You see these bags, it's a lot.
But you don't have them, so you probably. You can take good care of yourself, and like we're talking about fitness itself. Like that is one thing that me personally, like it helps me if I have to think, if I'm going through something, like I rely myself on going to the gym, and working out, because then it helps me kind of like clear my mind.
Yeah, that's why
do you prioritize that too?
I like the gym. I like to be active physically. Like I said, I grew up dancing. Like that's something I need. I want to get back into doing. I mean, I do the gym, but being able to express my emotion and get that off of me physically is so therapeutic. Like I definitely advocate to get into something physical to get certain stresses off of you, and it's helpful. It's definitely helpful. It's a lot more helpful than sitting in front of not advocating counseling, but it's a lot more helpful than sitting in front of someone just, oh, that happened to you. I'm so sorry.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. You need some pills? Like, no.
That's what they do, eh?
Yeah.
So yeah, tell us about that, because a lot of people think, I was having a conversation with you. I said, yeah, it's good to, speak to someone. I mean, there's therapists, they go to school for that. They learn how the person thinks and so on.
Is.
But
don't go to counseling if you need it.
But me personally, I don't think 100% therapy helps you. And a lot of therapists we met, me saying this, I've had a therapist on the podcast, but I feel like everything comes within you first and the people around you. So like instead of paying hundreds and thousands of dollars,
even if
to
you have
someone,
insurance, just
exactly, to go to someone and you're paying them that much money just to talk to you. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, they're gonna keep it confidential, but at the end of the day, I feel like you get better results by speaking, to those who love and support you the most.
And I can agree on that, because I have gotten better results to actually speak to people who love me and care about me and who know me. Therapist doesn't really know you like that. Like you're just giving them the surface level of your side, you know, and a therapist is kind of giving you like a biased answer because it's your own version of something. But if you talk to someone who actually knows what you're going through and can observe both sides, they can give you like an honest opinion about it. And like you said, like it's really with self. Like you have to look at yourself and not really like harm yourself by looking at through yourself, but like be real with yourself. Like what did I do that made it acceptable for people to treat me this way? You know, things of that nature. And for me, it was allowing things and not having boundaries and letting boundaries be pushed with the, oh baby, please baby, I just want to know. No, you know, if you want to have a boundary, hold on to that boundary. Don't let people cross your boundary. You know, it's you got to be introspective if you want to see the things around you change. Right. You're not going to ever see anything that's going on around you change until you look within yourself. And once you really honestly, not no surface level, yeah, I'm a baddie. Yeah, you know, I don't deserve that. No, really look at yourself like what did you do? And why are you allowing this? You know, what can you do better for yourself? Who is around you that's influencing this type of toxic lifestyle? Like for me, like I was around people who would smoke and drink and were lustful and things of that nature. But once I isolated myself and stopped doing all that, people just trickled away. And then my life started to change.
It started to change, started feeling better.
Started feeling healthier. Like the people who were coming towards me were more aligned with where I'm trying to go in my life. Like you kind of need to change self before you can even think about what's going on around you to change.
I mean, that's why, like I said, some things I do agree with therapy as being like a counseling thing. You know, I look at therapy as mentors. You know, someone that you could talk to and they can give you some sort of guidance.
Somebody who's where you want to be at.
Exactly, but I don't respect the ones that as soon as you're speaking to them, like you said, and then they tell you, okay, so we're gonna diagnose you with this. You have depression, you have anxiety, and so the clinical
and then tries to drug you up.
It messes you up. Yeah. Now in your mind, every time you do something, oh my gosh, it's my anxiety, it's my depression. I have PTSD.
And then people sometimes will use that against you.
Yeah, people use that against you, and then at the end of the day, what happens to you in that case is that you start taking pills, and those pills start getting you away from your real life situations. And now you don't even know how to battle your fights. Like you don't even know how to face your fears because you're dealing with anxiety because why? That person told you that you had anxiety. I feel like diagnosing people with different, you know, diseases and all of that really affects the human nature. And that's why coming to America, I'm gonna be honest, is like I started seeing so many people with so many different diagnoses that I've never even heard of in my life. In my country, the moment you start going crazy or the moment you're stressing, they're going to pray for you. We're going to pray, or you're going to find people that are going to take you out.
Truly, everything's spiritual.
Go play sports, and then all of a sudden everything is out of your mind.
Yeah.
You know, and you're back to normal. But here it's like you start taking pills. The moment you don't have your medicine, let me say you go outside, you don't have your medicine. Now, because they diagnose you with bipolar disorder, now you start acting crazy until you take that pill. And then all of a sudden that pill makes you feel better.
It's a cycle. And then it becomes a cycle, and you become dependent now on a pill to make you whole. And I feel like in a way it's a ploy to keep you dependent and to keep that business going. It's very weird.
And that's why I see a lot of crimes here. Because then when they start doing investigation, they say, oh, that person was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and
things of that nature. Probably was medicated or wasn't medicated, or a lot of people self-medicate. I don't advocate for that. Like, you know.
Yeah, man. But yeah, those are things to kind of like look into. But I want to focus on some of the positive things that you got going on for your, like in your life right now. So what are some things that you're doing recently, let's say lately, that are making you feel better, that are making you feel like, damn, like I'm actually getting to the point of my life where I've always wanted to be?
Well, I'm soon gonna be a paralegal. My goal is to be an attorney. So I have about 8 more courses left, doing my 4 and then my next 4, and then I'm a paralegal. So I'm getting closer to that. Looking for an internship for this semester. But I'm super excited about school. I'm excited about my son being in school. My second born, she'll be in school soon. I'm hoping to enlist in the police academy next semester. So I'm trying to get, physically and mentally ready for that. So just different things, and like I'm getting closer and closer to my goals, and accomplishing the small steps to get to those bigger goals. And sometimes it's hard because it's like I want to just be at that big goal, but like I'm definitely excited about each small step that I achieve, to get closer to that, and I'm getting closer and closer every day. So, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, man. Keep doing that.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate your time. I mean, being here and being so brave to speak up, because there's a lot of women who wait for that courageous voice to come into their lives, and you're one of them.
Hey, I was listening to your podcast, and you had a woman on here who was that courageous voice for me in the most recent time getting away. And it was like, you know what? What am I doing here? Like
Right.
I needed to hear that. Like, there are so many women who have gone through this and have achieved so much after actually putting that narcissist, putting that abuser behind them, and focusing on themselves and their goals. And like, I want to be closer to those women. Like,
Amen.
it's
It's the circle you keep. But yeah, thank you so much, Amara.
Yes.
Really appreciate your time and your presence here. And if you did enjoy this episode, man, yeah, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and just wish you all the best.
Thank
and
you.
continue to fight, because the sky's the limit. I always tell people the sky's the limit. Like, everything's gonna be better at the end of the day, as long as you don't give up on yourself. But yeah, man, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is ECP Child Podcast once again, and we outside. Let's go.